Yeah.
Welcome back to Sparking the Fuse. Today I'm joined by Daniel Iordan, president of Moovers Chicago Inc. Daniel's journey took him from serving as a Chicago police officer to leading one of the fastest growing moving companies in the region. Under his leadership, Moovers Chicago earned recognition on the Inc. 5000 and built a culture of discipline, integrity, and reliable service. We'll explore his path, the biggest wins in logistics, challenges overcome, and his vision for the future. Let's dive in. Daniel, welcome.
Chris, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, I'd love to hear, a bit about your journey from Chicago Police Department to president of Moovers Chicago. Tell us.
Yeah, when they talk about the American dream, you're looking at it. I'm an immigrant that came from East Europe, Romania. I was 20 years old when I came, and just work hard, save money. Went to school in the afternoon. I learned the language, and in time, I was blessed enough to be part of the Chicago Police Department for a while until things changed a little bit. And I was also very active running a moving company, very small. And 11 years later, we are here. Started with one van. Occasionally, I would hire somebody to help me out for the day for a couple of hours. And that was it. One day at a time.
That's an amazing story. I love it. I love it. I'm trying to think, like, what do you think from your law enforcement background has carried over most into your leadership style today?
Obviously, I'm very thankful for the experience that I had with Chicago Police Academy. They teach you a lot of things. For example, unity. How do you take one individual and how do you look at his personality? You erase it and then you make him part of a group, of a hive. They are pretty good at it. So one way in which they do uniform. I'm a stickler for the uniform. Every time I get a chance, I always talk with my workers about the importance of being part of the body, of the many. And I know we all have personalities and unique perspectives outside work, but we need to come together once we represent movers. The most simple way for somebody to show me that they are ready for work that day is to show up in uniform. So I know probably you don't deal with this too much, but in the service industry, small businesses, it's a serious challenge to bring people to a common idea. For example, the fact that you have to wear a belt. It's quite a challenge to explain young men right now why they need to wear a belt. But it's, daily struggle, one day at a time.
What does a day in your life as president look like now?
Well, I wake up around anywhere between 7 to 8 o'clock. I usually check the chats. We have the workspaces in chats, direct messages, see what's going on. If there's anything that I need to intervene and talk about. Otherwise, I show up at the office around 9, 10 o'clock. I check with the office manager if there's anything that needs my attention. Then we go over whatever tasks, no more than 3. I don't like to focus on more than 5 tasks a day. I organize my business every day of the week as one department. So Mondays is marketing, Tuesday is sales, Wednesdays is operations, Thursday is management, Friday is accounting. So I usually have meetings according to that department. We go over what we spoke last time and so on. Very boring.
That's a very interesting way of organizing it. So each of those tasks happen, you meet with those departments each day of the week.
Yeah. And there's a governing document for every, so for marketing, right? We go over what we spoke last time, what we decided to implement. We get a status update and then action items. And then we move on to see what we're going to do for the next 7 days. And we dialed up with our leads and all the platforms that we're using where we can have the information in front of us. We make decisions right away. We can see, we can compare day to day, week to week from the previous 2, 3 years. So we know if the company is going in the right direction or not. You know, I say this a lot lately when I speak to people. We're not a moving company. We're first and foremost a marketing company. And so just for you to have an idea, before I even show up in front of a customer and I move a box from point A to point B, I have to be extremely competitive and dialed in digital marketing. I have to make sure that out of 400 moving companies in the city of Chicago, a customer will see me. So that's why I bring a lead into play. Then, I, after I've done my part as a marketing company, I have to be a sales company. So now we have to service that lead. So now we have to be competitive in the way we speak with the customer. And after we're booking that customer, then we actually service that lead, that customer. It's an extremely competitive environment. Chicago, it's a very, very competitive environment for our industry.
You really kind of hit the three on the triangle that I talk to people about is marketing, sales, operations. When you start adding on some systems break, you see which ones need the adjustments, and you're in front of all three every week. That's really cool.
Remember, then you have to also have strong management,
Yes.
because without strong management, without the proper procedures, systems, operations, right? All these things, they come KPIs. Everything has to be tied up and come together. Otherwise, I think management, in my opinion, it's a metric in regards to the long-term success of a company. Strong management, strong management. AI leadership.
Yeah, that seems like what, great investors like Warren Buffett really point towards, right? Management teams who can actually have the vision, but also implement the strategies with the tactics, right? That's real interesting.
Yeah. Do
Um,
you know the difference between the tactics and strategy? I always like to talk about this with people.
Please do. Please do.
So I learned this a couple of years back. So they are both terms that are being used in military and in business. Tactic is something that you apply short term. So you win a battle by using tactics. Now, strategy is composed of multiple tactical pieces, right? And you win a war. So strategy is something for the long term.
The
Big
strategy and the
bird's eye view.
tactics
Yeah,
execute. Yes, I love it.
correct. Correct.
Let's dive into some industry trends, logistics, moving, they're evolving rapidly. Like what major shifts are you seeing from where you sit in the industry?
AI.
Yeah.
AI is disrupting our industry.
Please elaborate more.
Absolutely. So a lot of companies right now, if they can capitalize on what tools and the way they use AI, they can gain a competitive advantage in again marketing first and foremost, customer experience, the ability to interact and collect the information from the customer. I mean, sales, you can use a software that has AI integrated, and you can have the transcript in front of you, and you have the rebuttal coming automatically based on the history of how you've been communicating with the customer for the past 3 years. fascinating. It changes the landscape and the interaction, and you get a Samsara software on your or the cameras on, that will tell you everything you need to know about your drivers. They're cautious if they respect what they're being told, and again, it's every aspect of your business. If you want to implement AI and take advantage, and you know how to, it will give you a competitive advantage that you cannot even describe.
Yeah, I love how you're in front of it like that. What at Movers Chicago, what kind of implementations have you done that change the way you operate?
Well, besides revealing too much to my dear competitors, um, we definitely do a lot in terms of marketing, the digital marketing. There are a lot of tools out there. There's a combination, especially the traditional SEO. There's a lot of things that you have to do. Obviously, not to be penalized by Google too much, but you can definitely, some of the legwork can be sped up. Um, Sales, again, you can, after hours, you can be creative. Even before an agent or a sales representative speaks with a customer, you can have a lot of tools in place. So when you actually speak with a person, you already have a lot of information at hand. Operations, it goes without saying, because if you want to do a route for next day and you have 25 crews that they have to be dispatched, instead of doing it manually, you just dump everything in Gemini or whichever you're using.
Optimize that. Yeah,
Optimization without AI in the future,
doesn't
you
work.
can't.
Yeah, you can't keep up with it for sure. No, you bring up some good points. One specifically, I'm thinking back to a conversation I recently had with uh, a very strong operator in the digital marketing space, and she was kind of just helping to illustrate the difference of where traditional SEO has been with things like service companies, right? You go on Google, you search up who does HVAC, who does plumbing, who does moving in my area, and you got the guys who have optimized on the map. So hey, here's 3-4 people next to you, and then it has multiple results after that. Then you have, are we on the front page or are we on like the 10th page or almost non-existent back there in like 250th place because we don't do anything, right? Well, when someone goes now into any of these LLMs like you're talking about, they do their search on ChatGPT, they go and, utilize Gemini, Grok, Claude. Well, that only gives like 5 to 8 results, period. And so if you're not on there, then you're irrelevant. You're obscure. Like no one sees you. So that has been a huge shift on that side of digital marketing is okay, how do we become searchable on these when people start moving towards chat on or searches on things like Chat GPT, it's already kind of documented that it's estimated 10% of internet searches are happening there already, well ahead of the schedule they thought. So now, like you say, competitive advantages, who's in front of that? Who knows about it? Those guys are going to be the victors in the space.
Yeah. Unfortunately, um, I always sometimes I use this because I like simple language and I like simplicity to be able to connect with people from different backgrounds. I'm not the most technical individual you're gonna speak with, but I get the gist and the relationship and connection between things. I like to think so. Imagine what Jeff Bezos did to the shopping experience. Okay, 20 years ago, if I would have come and tell you that you go online and you buy everything you can think of for your daily use,
Yeah,
imagine
no.
20 years from now, you wouldn't believe me.
You're like, it's at the mall.
Yeah, no, we go. That's what is happening right now. So the service industries, you are supposed to shop based on rating, based on what people talk about the business. You like there was all this process that somebody would hire a mover. Well, guess what? People don't have the time anymore. So they rely and their shopping experience changed tremendously. So now it doesn't matter if you're the best moving company in town. service-wise. You still get referrals and so on, but you can't stay competitive. You cannot under any. So you have to become a marketing expert. You have to understand marketing. If you don't, you're not going to be around. You're just probably 5 to 10 years away from declaring bankruptcy. Or, by the way, there is something, another phenomenon happening for the past 5 to 10 years.
Position.
Private private equity is buying a lot of small businesses. They keep the name,
Implement the technology, and boom, your thing's worth way more than they bought it for.
and you as a consumer, you think that I'm calling 3 places to get a price. It's the same private equity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's happening is they cannibalize these industries.
Yeah. You are seeing the same trends there, specifically home services right now. A lot of people, they're rolling up these very manual businesses historically, implementing even the smallest amount of tech in it, lead generation, and getting the calendar full. And all of a sudden, almost overnight, the business is worth a lot more money than they purchased it for. Yeah, I totally see that. So obviously, you are operating your company a lot like a marketing company. What's for you? What's been the most frustrating problem then to solve in your business as it is currently? Then hiring, getting
Takes
the
time.
right players, specifically in like management or in like the actual like execution of doing a move, for example.
As of right now, my biggest challenge will be finding the right people in different areas of the business. Now, you can find people, but they don't share the same values. They will present themselves very well during the interview process, but I met pretty serious with a stacked resume, and I realized that most likely they never worked hard in their entire life. I like to hold people accountable. People around me, they have a certain speed, a certain way of understanding how their actions correlate and create a domino effect to the other departments. So if you're not quick on your feet, it's just you can't make it in our company. So finding the right people, hardworking, customer satisfaction oriented, commitment, responsibility, and core values of our business. If you don't have these, I can't help you. So it's hard to find the right people, even if we pay above the market.
Yeah, at the same time, it's like, I guess, what steps have you taken then to try and get the right people into those
Uh,
seats?
Learn from every wrong hiree and do better next time. Uh, Key questions and again, one more time, we're not a hiring company, but I have to understand the process of hiring the right person so well, and I'm becoming an expert.
Again, it's marketing company, right? Marketing to the client, marketing to potential employees, what you're all about. Yeah, it seems
Now,
pretty thematic.
I'm very long-term oriented, so that's why I need to invest in the right people. I have to think of a person as being the next person for the next 10, 15 years. So I think that's where I have to do better.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, in a past life, I did. I say past life, but I still do own a trucking insurance agency. Okay, I have swung and missed with many a moving company because of like what you're talking about. People who are not like, you got the owner who's willing, he cares about his company, gung ho, but a lot of the people around him, if he didn't hire quality, they don't care like an owner does. But you need them at least at a certain level. And unfortunately, in things like insurance, not having a good driving record or something like that can like really make the expenses of the company just go out the roof. It's really what I'm saying is it's really refreshing talking to you, Daniel, because you're operating at a totally different level than a lot of the guys that I've spoken to across the country and moving specifically.
Everything that you just talked about, it's leadership. It boils down to the fact that you allow people that shouldn't be around you, people who don't share your vision and your mission around you, and you cut them slack after slack after slack after slack. They fail consistently. You don't hold them accountable. And then you wonder why they deliver the same mediocre service they ask them not to. You know, I think I always, if I ask anybody from my management team, I tell them, I boil it down to three reasons why people don't do what you ask them to do. Number one, they were not trained properly. That I can do. I can do it again. Let's go over the process, 10 steps. Let's see where you're stumbling. Let's find the connection. Number two, your skills, your personality doesn't match with the process. So if you're willing and you have the right foundation, you're hardworking, you show up, you have the willingness, I'll find something else for you because you are a good person. Yeah, I'm just gonna shift and give you a different list of tasks. Third one, you don't care. Now the first two I can fix. Third one I can't. It's nobody's job in this company to determine the third category. I have to see, and obviously, the people that work closely with me, because those are the bad apples, and that's like a virus, and it's going to destroy your organization and your company.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, you see those owners who didn't exercise that leadership and find themselves in a crunch or with no company at all after having let bad actors into their company kind of run it how they just did lackadaisically, right? Yeah. Let me chat with you about future goals. Like when you look at Moovers Chicago, you say, hey, 12 months from now, 3 years from now, what are you building towards? Is this a legacy move? Is this a acquisition target move? Like, what do you think there?
So my dream is when you think about Home Depot and you find it all over the place, that's how I want to see movers. If if I can direct my energy and time towards it, that's what I will do. I am not the type of owner or entrepreneur that's gonna sell people on passion. I'm not passionate about what I do, but I wake up every day trying to give my best
Hold
because
on,
I
I
have
like
a
this viewpoint, man. Tell me about that real quick. Like, let's talk about
I
passion.
don't
Like,
buy it.
follow your passion, Daniel. No?
Yeah. No, it's just I think a lot of young men need to and young women need to realize that this selling point of you have to be passionate about what you do so you don't feel like working. No, I'm sorry, I disagree completely. And allow me to make an argument against it. Life is hard, okay? You'll have good moments and bad moments. The idea is that you have to engage your talents in a type of activity that will make you money to be able to support yourself and the people responsible or the people that you are responsible. So sometimes passion and work align. Most of the time it doesn't.
Yeah.
That's not the rule, that's the exception. So you can make it and you can have a very good livelihood by working hard and giving the best you can in that area. So that's why I subscribe to this camp. Apply yourself, wake up with intentionality, give your best on the table, and I promise you in time you'll see results. But don't buy into this, if I find what I'm passionate about, let me find what I'm passionate about, then I'm gonna feel alive. No. No.
Yeah. So if I asked you just to counterplay this a little bit, um, for you, when you think about Movers Chicago, it's a moving company. Um, it's a marketing company, a sales company. You're defining it in different ways, but for you, what is, I guess, the why behind why it's exciting for you to build? Like, what is enjoyable about this to you? Like, what gets you up in the morning to say, yeah, I'm going to do it again?
What gets me going has nothing to do with work. It has to do with aspirations that are higher than my aspirations and my values as an individual and are not being defined by the work that I do. I believe that my responsibility as a man is to leave the world a better place, whatever that means. Okay. In my case is making sure that my family, myself, my family, my employees, my company, my customers, when they come in contact with everything that I do, it's done properly and I live their lives in a better place than when before they met me. And I would like for my children, um, I have two lovely boys. I want them to start ahead of where I started. So the idea of legacy is very well defined in my mind. I want them to have access to a mindset in regards to the game of life that I didn't have access to. So that's what it boils down.
Man, I love how you put that, Daniel. The values that you just shared are definitely values that I have for myself as well. Like I've never wanted to be defined by the type of work I'm doing at the moment, before or after. It doesn't define who I am as a person so much, but the underlying values of wanting to leave things better. I personally find joy in creating things. It didn't exist before. Now I'm creating and building it. I love like creation, right? So yeah, finding a why, even if you're a guy who is driving a dump truck and all you do is change people's trash every day, that's okay, right? It's like what is behind that?
I think a lot of, again, young men and young women have to learn, and unfortunately, it's very difficult to come across this idea with with the culture that we are in right now. Don't allow a short period of time to define you. Okay, there's more to life than what you do. There, society is built on a lot of shallow values, appearances. Being defined by what other people think about you and where you are. What I would encourage a lot of young people is to learn to appreciate relationships and good people around you. Having a good heart, being reliable, being somebody people they can go and speak with in hard times. It's something that can be measured by economy, but it can be measured by virtue and by the people who value you. So don't forget what matters. And what matters is have good people around you and you be a good person. Don't chase. Money is important because we live in in a capitalistic economy, and time and energy equals dollar signs. Again, you have a family. Make sure you provide for them. Whatever you do, don't be ashamed. Just provide. Do your part. But don't allow the society to define you that just because you have a big paycheck, that means you're an accomplished human being. No, a human being is somebody that gives their best on a daily basis. Sometimes fail. They rise. They move forward and is a good person, has a good heart. That's what it boils down to. That's the human project. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I love it. It's like, go team, let's get it done, Daniel, let's go. I love it, man. No, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have my kids watch this one afterwards. Like, here's some wise words from Daniel Iordan. Daniel, it's
I know.
been a real pleasure chatting with you, man. Thank you so much for coming on. And I want to obviously, if anyone is interested in learning more about Movers Chicago or talking to you or anything like that, what's the best way for them to get in touch?
Absolutely. They can go on our website, moverschicago.com. And if they need people to come in their houses and help them during times of transition with packing, with moving, with storaging, we're here ready to help them out. We want to make this transition as easy and smooth as possible. And we have the expertise, the crews, the vehicles, and the experience. Uh, make us stress free as much as we can and the day of.
Wonderful. Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you, Chris. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
You as well.